Hello and welcome to Newsday on the BBC. I'm Rico Hizon in Singapore.
And I'm Kasia Madera in London. Our headlines.
It's 9 in the morning in Singapore.
And it's 1 in the morning in London, broadcasting to viewers around the world. This is Newsday. Hello and welcome to the programme. A federal judge in the United States says that the National Security Agency's collection of huge amounts of data from telephone calls is unlawful. The judge said that the collection of such data, revealed by the fugitive intelligence analyst Edward Snowden, was indiscriminate and arbitrary. He ruled that it violated the ban on unreasonable searches enshrined in the US Constitution. Well, Mark Urban is Newsnight's diplomatic editor, and earlier he was able to give me a few more details on what was in Judge Leon's ruling. Okay, but just put it into context for us. What's the significance of this then?
And what's going on in Congress? I think we can say the writing is on the wall.
Mark Urban speaking to me a little earlier. Now, Rico, in Thailand, the political standoff continues. The United Nations has announced its biggest ever appeal for humanitarian aid to Syria, over $6.5 billion. The UN estimates that almost 3/4 of Syria's population, that's nearly 16 million people, will need humanitarian aid next year. Well, the BBC's chief international correspondent Lise Doucet has the latest from the Syrian capital, Damascus.
You're watching Newsday on the BBC, live from Singapore and London. Still to come on the programme.
First, let's get some news from across the UK. And the Deputy Prime Minister, Nick Clegg, has condemned leaked Home Office proposals suggesting a cap on European immigrants.
This is Newsday on the BBC. I'm Rico Hizon in Singapore.
And I'm Kasia Madera in London. Our headlines this hour. Scotland Yard have said that there is no credible evidence that Britain's Special Air Service was involved in the deaths of Diana, Princess of Wales and Dodi Fayed. Now, images of famine and war have shaped many people's perceptions of Africa. But one of the first men to capture the continent on film portrayed a very different picture. Elliot Ellisophan was an internationally renowned photojournalist for Life magazine. His work brought the richness of Africa to the rest of the world. The BBC's Jane O'Brien reports. Some really great images there. Now let's bring you some really amazing pictures from Mount Etna in Europe. It's a volcano which is erupting. Have a look at this. It is an ash cloud. It's actually forced the closure of Catania's airport in eastern Sicily. It's spectacular though, isn't it? I have to say that luckily the villages on the sides of the mountains haven't been evacuated this time round, but it has been pretty active in the past. It is, of course, Europe's most active volcano, and its last major eruption occurred in 1992. This time round, it's caused some trouble to local flights, or at least flights in the region. But the pictures themselves are quite spectacular. But yes, Catania Airport in eastern Sicily has been closed for the moment.
Stunning eruption, Kasia. You've been watching Newsday from the BBC. I'm Rico Hizon in Singapore.
And I'm Kasia Madera in London. Much more, as always, on our website. But from Rico in Singapore and from me in London, thank you very much. And as we leave you, just a reminder of our top story. A federal judge in the United States says that the National Security Agency's collection of huge amounts of data from telephone calls is unlawful. Much more, as always, on our website. But from the time being, from me, Rico and the team, bye-bye.